Well, it's the fourth quarter. 4 minutes, 37 seconds left. Can't watch. So, gonna try to talk about your exam with you right now. Just kidding. I'm not that serious, but it is kind of depressing. Okay. I am a little sad. It's a little depressing. Okay, but I am going to talk to you guys about your exam because when you're watching this, the game's already over. You don't care. You've moved on. You've decided you can live whether or not the Packers go on to the Super Bowl or not, and I'm sure, you'll be just fine. So, having said that, let me just say that I have a couple things I want to talk to you about with regards to your exam. Your exam is going to be a very similar format to your midterm. The early part of your exam is going to be multiple choice questions, asking you all kinds of things. For example, asking you about issues related to due process, issues related to capital punishment, those kinds of things, and really whether or not you have a clear understanding of the fundamentals and the details that we discussed in our class. And it's going to require that you know this stuff. The next part is going to be short answers, and those short answers are primarily going to be focused on cases and recall of information with regards to cases and their importance in establishing particular constitutional precedent. Powell v. Alabama, for example. I talked a lot about the Scottsboro Boys. I don't just want to know about the Scottsboro Boys, although it's likely that I'm going to ask you questions about the Scottsboro Boys in the multiple choice section. But I do want to know whether you know why Powell v. Alabama was important. So really kind of making sure that you have that information. And then the final part of the exam will be a long essay. And I'm going to tell you what the long essay is right now. And I will also post it on the page so that you can have it in writing. But here is the long essay, and I just got done writing it, so I'm going to just hold it out over here and read it to you guys. So the long essay, describe the various ways in which the Constitution attempts to even the playing field for criminal defendants in the face of the powerful U.S. criminal justice system. Just have to change one thing. So describe the various ways in which the Constitution attempts to even the playing field for criminal defendants in the face of the powerful U.S. criminal justice system. We have talked about this issue time and time again, about this issue of balance. I've drawn it on the board. I've gone through it. So my expectation is that you are going to be able to clearly describe this notion of balance. How are criminal defendants and just individuals in general balanced out by this huge system? What an essay like this requires you to do is to come up with a thesis. You need to write a thesis, just like we've done in paper after paper after paper. And for most of you, just like I talked to you about in your last paper critique. What are, not only coming up with a thesis, but then after you come up with a thesis, design a structure for this essay that will allow you to flow through this entire essay and give quality information to answer the full question. While answering it, you must, you guys, provide specific examples that are precise and illustrate the issues that are relevant to this question, okay? So that is critical. You have to provide examples from the case or from the class, and I don't just want sort of vague, like, like criminal defendants, they, it's really important that you be fair to them, and they really need like fairness. If you're going to talk about fairness, you should really talk about due process. I mean, that's the specific. If you're talking about fairness, due process is the example. And talk about where is due process found in the Constitution. Don't just mention it, but say due process refers to fundamental fairness. This fundamental fairness is established by the Due Process Clause, which is found in the Constitution. You know, you're going to go through and sort of describe all those things. So in that final essay, it needs to just be chocked full of details. That is what I'm looking for. Can you come up with a thesis, and can you support that thesis with examples? And is it well written? Is it clear? And I'm going to tell you, it really needs to be clear. Clear and specific, okay? All right. So then I also want to just talk to you guys about studying in general. I think that the main thing that I would suggest to you, and the thing that I would say is going to be your most powerful weapon, is vocabulary. If you know the vocabulary, if you know the words, you can dissect almost any multiple choice question and almost any other component you can use the concepts in your essays. So really make sure you know the vocabulary. Now, I didn't go through, and I'm not going to go through and give you guys a vocabulary list. One of your tasks is to go through and pull out words like jurisdiction, words like due process, words like it's Fourth Amendment, the fruit of the poisonous tree. You know, what are some of the exceptions to the Fourth Amendment, like that we sort of went through and talked about? I mean, like really being able to pull out those specific vocabulary concepts. When you're doing vocabulary, come up with a list. And like I mentioned in my very first video that I started doing for you guys today, you know, make little cards for yourself, create flashcards, and really commit those vocab terms to memory, okay? And as far as the cases and the short answers, make sure you understand what is important about that case. What is the principle or precedent that case essentially establishes? And, you know, are there important quotes from that case, or an important quote? Because several of them, there are kind of, you know, like the idea of not fundamental fairness, but my brain is fried because I've been talking about this stuff for so long, and plus because I'm a little depressed about the Packer game. But essentially, fire in a crowded theater, right? That was from the Schenck case. That's an example of a quote from a case. You know, the clear and present danger, you know, from the Schenck case. So just know what those catchphrases are and be ready to quote them. You are going to have to do some memorizing. You're going to have to do some real brain work, some real studying. But again, come and see me. Spend some time with me. I have time. I do have mock trial after school on Monday and Tuesday, but Wednesday I don't. So, you know, do definitely stop in and see me if you have questions. So, okay, good luck. I wish you the very best. Study hard, and let me know if you have any questions. Okay.